Here's what I'm saying about God and life, and of course you should relax and have faith and stop worrying about whether you're going to die. That will release you so that you can do for God what He wants.
And
for whatever reason He wants it.
Interestingly enough, the more synchronicity happens, and you just naturally do. Again, it's back to the paradox. Stop trying so hard, and you're going to just naturally do what you were intended to do effortlessly in the first place.
Right. And we happen,
but there was nothing wrong with the prior part.
And we happen to know what that intended action is, which you will do if you relax. You'll put on film.
You just missed the whole point. Really? That's where you're going with this whole thing?
Yeah.
That's very weak. Put on film? Seriously?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he likes it.
You made that whole story up. You made up an entire story about the film. How did you get to that? I could get behind being nice to your wife, but I mean, seriously, the film? Seriously?
Why? Being nice to God doesn't make sense?
I don't think God needs me to put on the film to be nice to Him.
If He created you...
I think He feels a lot, if He did feel this way, which I don't think you're in the total wrong construct, but if you want to play this construct game, this is much more important than putting on tefillin.
What is this?
What we're talking about right now.
Because it'll get us to put on tefillin.
No.
It'll get us to be there for Him.
Doesn't need... An infinite being who created everything doesn't need you to put on tefillin. Seriously?
Are you sure about that?
Look, I'm just as sure as you are that He does. I'm just as sure that He doesn't need it, as much sure as you are that He does. You believe some story that you don't even know how you believe it because it was all from outside constructs. I mean, I don't really see that as very good proofs at all.
It just happens to make a lot more sense.
No, it doesn't. It makes sense to you because you were created a certain way, toilet trained a certain way, and that's why it makes sense to you.
That God
wanted you to. If that was really so important,
does He want something? Let's go down to fine, not tefillin.
No.
What does He want?
Want is such a ridiculous word for an infinite thing
that turns into a table.
Yeah.
Why would He turn into a table?
We're to the I don't know place. Just like you say I don't know.
So you're saying
we're to the I don't know place.
So you don't know what He wants.
I don't even think wants is a word that makes sense in the construct, but certainly, yes, I don't know.
Okay. So you're not saying He doesn't want, you just don't know what He wants.
I don't even know if He wants, even if that is something that even makes sense in discussing Him. So clearly I don't know what He wants. Clearly. Okay. I think He's outside the whole construct of want or not want. He just is.
But He did all this.
He is all this. Not He did all this.
He
is all this.
Does He have a purpose?
Yes, this table is His purpose.
So He does have a purpose.
If you define the word purpose, but not the way you define the word purpose. You define the word purpose as like this. It gets into this avoiding this and doing this and no. It is. What is the purpose. What is the purpose. I know it's not going to be so, glorious with violins and people.
No, it's just a contradiction.
Overcoming. No.
It's a contradiction. Why is it what is not a purpose. Purpose means what a thing is.
Purpose doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so does He have a purpose?
Not the way you talk about it, no.
So He just is. There's no point. We're not going anywhere. We're not coming.
It's the same story as why He wants you to, do whatever you said. You said, I don't know. That was honest. You said, I don't know. And that's the truth. At the bottom of all of this discussion is I don't know. And we're not going to know.
No.
Yes.
We don't know why.
What did you say? I don't know. Right. We don't know why. But I would go one step further and say, I don't even know what. You are happy with I don't know why. I am going a little deeper and saying, I don't even know what. That's how unknowable it is. You think you're a little smarter than this whole infinite thing. You've got it all figured out up to the point of the why. I'm just trying to be a little, in my opinion, honest about it and say, come on. This is a table. It's not a table. Come on. It's ridiculous talk. We don't know what's going on here. This is a giant mystery. We popped into existence out of one cell that kept splitting, and all of a sudden one day the lights went on. Come on. Now you know what you're supposed to be doing. Send a newspaper, okay? It's real simple. Send an email. what everybody wants, God wants you to do. Today, subject line, this is what God wants. Everybody knows, it's all fine. Everybody's got an email. You're great. If that was really what was going on.
That's pretty much the truth.
No, it isn't.
90% of the
People
world,
don't even know about Torah.
Right.
You say Torah's the email.
and yet 90% of the world knows that God wants them to not steal or murder.
That's how you know it's wrong.
Really?
Yes, most people are wrong about everything. Just like 99% of the people who are Orthodox Jews don't even understand Orthodox Judaism, according to you. The fact that they all agree, in fact, I'll go you one further. 99.9% of them think there's free will, and me and you know that that's not true. And they define it as free choice the way you think that me and you know is totally nonsense. 99.9% of the world agrees with that. In fact, when you tell people, by the way, you don't have free choice, the only reason you're doing what you're doing is because of all the influences that happen to you, they get very, very upset with that. A lot of them, right? They feel ego threatened, right? And they go, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? So you're having a hard time with people missing the entire point? You're not. You're the king of that. You're the guy who comes to tell everybody what they're doing wrong.
But you said send out an email to tell everybody what God wants. Everybody knows what God wants. I don't have to tell them.
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, I totally disagree. I think everyone is doing what God wants because they're doing it. That's the proof of it. That's the proof of it. God wants the suicide bomber to do suicide bombing.
That's what you think. Most people in the world think there are 10 commandments, no?
Most people are wrong about everything.
I'm not asking whether they're right or wrong. You said get people to know. I'm saying they already know.
First of all, the Western world, yes, believes in the desert religions, but the Eastern world had no knowledge of all this nonsense. In fact, they're a lot closer to the way I believe, in like a Buddhist sense, of no right or wrong at all, and just is.
Not really.
Yeah,
there's
Buddhism's
enlightened and there's not enlightened.
Okay, but so that's their story. You know, they fall back into the same nonsense that you do too. But it's still much closer to, you know, a different story.
Amoral.
Yeah, right. Right. You're not into that.
Well, that's they're more of a philosophy than a religion.
Exactly.
So here's the difference between us. We all know that God created the world.
No, God is.
That He is the world. He's in everything. I think He has a purpose. You think He doesn't. That's it.
No, I just don't know how I would define the word purpose in that construct.
Purpose means the world as it is not the end. It's leading to a conclusion. In other words, there's a purpose for it being, and it's not.
No, I think everything that happens is perfect, and it is the purpose of it. Just because you don't see it as the purpose doesn't mean it doesn't have a purpose. It has a purpose. You'll know when it's time for you to know.
So you think there is a purpose?
The way you define the word purpose.
So say it the way you want it.
I think everything is perfect the way it is.
And doesn't need a purpose. That would be the logical conclusion.
It is the purpose. The purpose is just to exist. The existence and consciousness itself is the purpose. Meaning, the whole point was to go to the amusement park and experience all the rides. And here in the experience world, we experience sadness is one ride, humor is another ride, this is another ride, eating is another ride, all the rides. It's all an amazing amusement park. And that was the purpose. The gift was the purpose itself. The gift itself was the purpose, with all the bad, what you call bad, all the good, what you call good. That was the purpose. To have this unbelievable experience was the purpose itself. It doesn't need an outside purpose. Like in the game, you're supposed to do this and that was the purpose. No, the thing itself was the purpose.
The right way to say that is that there is no purpose and there's no need. Call it that.
This
is
that.
God.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So it doesn't need a purpose.
It's going to do what it's going to do, just like your neshama controls the show. It's going to do what it's going to do. And don't worry about it. And the way you define purpose, that has nothing to do with what's going on here.
Okay, so you're saying there's no purpose.
In your definition of purpose, yes.
Okay, so that's the difference between us.
I know. My mom says the same thing all the time. I have this discussion with her all the time. But there's no purpose? She says it all the time. Maybe the purpose just is the gift. The gift itself is the purpose. You were given something.